Well, we're back with episode 7 of reading Reddit stories while playing Minecraft. And once again, we're back in the forever world. And today we are going to be mixing things up with the Am I the A-hole subreddit. So without further ado, let's start off with the first one, which was just posted 7 hours ago and already has 8,000 upvotes. And the title is, Would I be the a-hole for suing my friend when she didn't come to my wedding? I, 25 female, recently got married to my 25 male husband in Bali, Indonesia. It was a destination wedding, but my parents and his parents paid for their own plane tickets and hotel, and then my husband and I paid for all of our friends' plane tickets and hotel stays as well. Each plane ticket was about $2,000 US, and the hotel was maybe about $150 to $300 for a week. My friend Gemma brought her, hopefully it's Gemma, or it could be, there's no way it's Gemma, it's Gemma. Obviously these are aliases, but I don't know how to say that, so we're gonna say Gemma, along her newlywed husband, John, but John paid for his own plane ticket. The problem is that Gemma and John did not show up to my wedding. Gemma took the free plane ticket to Bali and the hotel room, and when I asked her why she didn't show up, she said that since they couldn't afford their own honeymoon, that this was a perfect opportunity, and that Jim decided that he didn't feel like going. My voice cracked, and they changed his name from John to Jim. I'm assuming it's still an alias, but that's pretty funny. Let me just finish this out. There's one more sentence, and then I will give my super important opinion. I was really hurt by this since Gemma and I have been friends for over 10 years. Would I be the a-hole if I took her to small claims court for the money I spent on the plane ticket and hotel? Oh my goodness. Wow. What a start to the day. Your friend of 10 years takes the free plane ticket, which, by the way, if you're going to have a destination wedding, I think this is like the best way to go about it. Like, if you want the people close to you to be there, but you're going to choose a destination wedding, I think at least offering to chip in is a borderline necessity because, again, it could be a lot of money. And this year, a $2,000 plane ticket is crazy. That being said, though, if you're going to accept that ticket as the friend here, Miss Gemma, you need to go to the wedding. Oh my goodness. This is actually insane to me. I cannot imagine doing this to someone, let alone like your best friend in 10 years, but even to like, I don't even know, even if it was like a friend of a friend, that might actually make it almost worse. I don't know, depending on the person you are, but regardless, you're going to take a free ticket for their wedding and just not show up. And then you're going to say it's because we never could afford a honeymoon. If I had a friend like this, we would have problems. Let me put it like that. But would this person be the a-hole for suing the friend? I'm going to go with no, because that's a lot of money. Now, would I take the time and effort to sue my friend over that? Probably not. Honestly, I would probably, I don't want to say I wouldn't be friends with them ever again, but for a while, dude, I would be pissed at them. I would not want to talk to them. So yeah, I don't think you'd be the a-hole. I wouldn't personally do it because that is going to be a headache. I genuinely can't believe though. And I think someone put a comment on the last video, and I totally agree with the fact that, like, I read these stories and I'm like, there's just no way these are real. Like, there's just no way. And like, I believe they are because there's no way everyone makes this stuff up, especially this one. I don't think this is fake, but like, just the lives people live. I'm like, dude, it's just crazy, man. Oh boy. Okay, let's go to the top comment. With 12,000 upvotes, they say, can't believe I'm saying this, but not the a-hole. By the way, I'm saying a-hole so YouTube doesn't get mad at me, just so we're clear. I honestly don't like doing that, but you know, the YouTube algorithm, you got to respect or whatever. Anyways, continuing off the same top comment. Someone offers to give you a free vacation on the condition that you attend one party during that time. I'd be jumping for that opportunity. To take that free vacation and then no call, no show to your friend's wedding is really poopy behavior on their part. They could have extended their stay if they wanted to treat this trip as their own honeymoon. This person is cooking. Yes, 100% right. I mean, first of all, I would never want to skip a wedding in general, even if it's like the weddings I've went to where like I'm just clearly a +1. Like I don't know anyone at the wedding. I still have so much fun because weddings are just so much fun. I don't know why you would ever want to skip a wedding, especially one in Bali. That's got to be crazy. Like, why would you do that? I don't get it. And this is all being said before we consider the fact that they've been friends for 10 years. I don't know. Obviously, this person's not the a-hole here. Let's go to the second top comment and then we will move on. And with the second top comment with 4,000 upvotes here, they say, you are not the a-hole. Your friend is the a-hole here, but I can't see you winning any sort of claim. Legally, you gifted her a plane ticket. There was no contract. She had to come to the wedding. Okay, I don't normally do this, but I am going to read the response because it is pretty relevant. And this person says, judges are capable of finding an assumed condition with a gift. The classic example is engagement rings typically, oh wow, I cannot read, typically get returned to the man if their fiance calls off the wedding. Well, if that's the case, yeah, maybe they could take this to court. I don't know. It's gonna, I mean, let's be real. If you take a friend to court, unless you are both the most mature people ever, which, let's be honest, if you're skipping out on a wedding for your friend of 10 years, you're probably not, okay? It's just an assumption. But if you do go to court, that friendship is probably going to end. So it kind of comes down to, are you going to end a friendship over, what would it be, $2,300? I mean, obviously the bigger issue is not showing up to the wedding. It's the principle of like just being used for a free plane ticket. But I think that's kind of what it comes down to with this person. So are they the a-hole? I would say, again, no, I've said that multiple times, but would I sue them? I just don't think it's worth it. Anyways, let's move on to the next story. Also, I am going to have chapters for the stories this time. So if you ever hear one that you're just not interested in, or you've already heard before, you should be able to look down in the little, progress bar and skip around. Anyways, though, let's move on to story number 2. Am I the a-hole for leaving because my sister-in-law hid my shoes to keep me from taking walks? Okay, I don't know where this one's going. It's just kind of a random one. We're hiding shoes from people, so it's going to be petty. But here we go. Sorry if there are any sentences that are missing words. This was over 5,000 characters when I first wrote it, so I had to edit it down. She is my sister-in-law, not my sister. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, just skimming through this, they say sister-in-law a lot. And luckily, on a Reddit post, you can just put S-I-L. But for this sake, we're gonna call her Jenny. Just while I read, it's gonna be way less annoying for me to read and way less annoying for you to listen to. So her name's gonna be Jenny, okay? And if your name is Jenny, I apologize because you are about to be an a-hole, more than likely, if I had to guess. And again, just to clarify, the sister-in-law is Jenny, not the poster. So Jenny has 3 little ones and her husband, my stepbrother, had to leave the country for work for a few months. I offered to stay so I could help her out where needed, and she happily accepted. For reference, I live across town, so it's not that far. I was there for 3 days when my Jenny, oh, okay, that's kind of awkward. It said a sister-in-law. It's going to read a little weird, but it honestly sounds funny. So you know what? We're going to keep doing that. I was there for 3 days when my Jenny commented on me going on daily walks. I have taken a daily walk of at least a mile since October 2018. Yes, even with a cold. Yes, even in cold weather. Yes to all of it. Well, shout out to you, man. Get those steps in. Here we go. Granted, I think it's a woman, but I just call everyone man, just also for clarity. On nice days, the walk is usually 4 miles. At my Jenny's, I started taking a path that was about 2 miles. I asked if she wanted me to watch the kids while she got some exercise, and she scoffed and said she was too busy. But it must be nice. Uh-oh. Okay, well, I'm just going to go with this right now. Totally an assumption on my end, but just based off that right now, I'm going to assume the sister-in-law Jenny is a little bit out of shape, right? We'll put it nicely. And the poster here is probably in at least decent shape. If you've been walking since 2018 every single day, I'm not like walking is the most strenuous thing ever, but 8 years straight of walking at least a mile, you're going to be in somewhat shape. So I'm assuming there's going to be some jealousy here. When she said this, I was a little bit puzzled since I was offering to help, but the comments kept coming. She kept trying to poke holes. Quote, but it's not really a mile every day, right? And quote, would you do it if you broke your foot? Would you get anxious if you couldn't take a walk? Then one morning I couldn't find my shoes. My Jenny woke up an hour later. I was eating breakfast with the kids and I asked her. She told me to go check the back door, and when I'd gotten back, she pointed at them by the door and said I must have missed them. I took my walk after telling her that her joke wasn't funny. Yeah, Jenny already sucks. She sounds petty as all, you know what, dude? Like, I am not rocking with Jenny. I already know it's going to be not the a-hole for this story at this rate, but we still have about half the story here, so let's keep it pushing. She was annoyed when I got back and told me that she thinks I need to see a therapist over my anxiety and obsession. Wow, okay. Shame on someone for just liking taking walks. That's crazy. I told her that I do have a therapist, and she said I clearly need a new one because this one isn't helping. I asked her point blank, why does it bother her so much that I want to take a walk? She said I was supposed to be there to help her with the kids, and I am disappearing for hours at a time. I told her my walks take about 30 minutes and I'm doing it while they have downtime. There's nothing else to say. Jenny, you suck, but I'm going to finish out real quick. I put my shoes in the guest room with the rest of my things and they were gone the next morning. I just said F it and packed my things and left. My Jenny called me when I was on the way home and said I was overreacting and being childish, and this is why I'm single and alone. I told her that I don't play these stupid games and that I would still pick up the girls and stay until she got home from work, but that she's on her own for everything else. Am I the a-hole? And there is one edit. Oh, okay, it's got the answer. It says, okay, I did not expect to be told I'm not the a-hole to this degree. I thought more people would have arguments why I was, since it has to do with taking care of kids. Okay, yeah, so obviously, no, you're not the a-hole for wanting to go on a walk. First of all, you're doing Jenny here, okay, your sister-in-law. Again, I'm trying to make this as clear as possible so you guys don't get lost. You're doing her a favor by being willing to stay there and help out. Like, you are being a homie, and she has the audacity to get pissed at you, essentially poke fun at you, right? Like just saying you did, well, it's not even poking fun. It's just downright taking digs at you, saying that you need a new therapist to help deal with your anxiety and obsession for going on a walk. That is like the most basic, like human thing ever, is to go on a walk. So Jenny, you suck. No, this person's not the a-hole. Let's get to the top comments. Ironically, this person's name is I Suggest Therapy with 16,000 upvotes. Not the a-hole. It is most certainly your Jenny who needs a therapist. Something about your wellness routine is triggering her in some way. It is weird and unhealthy. Yeah, I mean, this is just straight. It's either like copium or just straight jealousy, which I guess is blah, 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 is essentially the same thing. I cannot speak today, apparently. But yeah, she just sounds like not a cool person. I'm not really going to keep piling onto her because there's only so much to say, like, okay, this person sucks. But we'll go to the second top comment, which is a pretty long one with 6,500 upvotes. Your sister-in-law is jealous of your self-care and it's pathetic. Now she's realized she's taken it too far. She looks like a lunatic and she has no way to reasonably explain this to your stepbrother, you know, because what she did was nuts. Then she doubled down. I'm impressed you're still willing to interact with her at all. If she acts out of line anymore, disappear until stepbrother returns. Also, I'd contact him now and very calmly let him know what's up. Be sure to tell him she said this. A, you need therapy for daily walks. B, that you are childish. And C, you're leaving because your things are getting hidden. And she also told you that you are single and alone. Essentially, I don't know. Their comment here got a little bit confusing to read at the end there with that C point, but regardless, yeah, this person's right. This is the right move. Just let your brother-in-law know, look, dude, it's just not working. Okay, like she's just being an a-hole. I don't want to do this in front of the kids, nor do I want to handle this myself because I'm supposed to be taking care of children, not adults acting like children. Oh my goodness, I'm spitting right now, but yeah, obviously not the a-hole. Shout out to this lady for going on walks every day. And if you're someone who should maybe get some more exercise, this is your sign. Just go on a quick walk around the block or something. Trust me, as someone who reads a lot on how to be, you know, happier with oneself and all that good stuff, it's the move. It's a great habit. I don't mean to like lecture anyone here, but trust me, if you don't consistently exercise, your life will be better if you do. But anyways, that's all I will say on that. That's just a topic I'm very passionate about because I just want people to be happy and I think it's huge, you know, exercising. But moving on to story number 3. Am I the a-hole for refusing to change the chore chart even though my wife works full time now? Okay, here we go. This person's a top 1% poster too. Ooh. Reddit clout, good for them. I met my wife in college and she was soon pregnant after we graduated. Okay, we're getting a move on it. We moved in together and it was decided that she will not look for a job until she's given birth. Our daughter was born and my wife was a stay-at-home mom for the first 2 years. We had a lot of fight about the chore splitting. I was very overwhelmed coming home and having to do a ton of chores after work and also spend time with our daughter. This has gotten worse as our daughter has gotten older and is a little tornado. The biggest issue was she wouldn't pick up at all, especially in the kitchen. That meant I would come home, clean the kitchen, cook, and then clean the kitchen again. Then have to go around and clean up the day activities. Okay, well, my first question here, and I don't mean this disrespectfully because I know kids are a lot, but what's your wife doing all day? You know what I mean? Like, I know, again, I don't have a kid, so I can't really relate. But like, for example, my mom, when I was growing up, was working 40 plus hours and then she still like did everything essentially what this guy worked, right? Like he'd work, come home, clean, do all that. Because both my parents worked a lot at the time. Some random lore you don't really need to know, but I'm going to tell you anyways. My mom and my dad too, like they both worked hard around the house. They would work a boatload and then still be able to clean up after us. So I don't know what the wife is doing. Not to be judgmental to start, but that's just kind of weird. But let's keep going. We argued about this a lot and her stance was she watches our kid all day long so I can clean up more when I get home. In the end, I gave in and we made an official chore chart. This is crazy to me. I mean, like, I love lists actually, so I kind of rock with the idea of a chore chart for myself personally, just to like check off and do. But having it be like a requirement between two adults is like weird to me. Again, I feel like I'm being very judgmental, but this seems like a very like immature relationship so far. And I hate saying that because I don't know, dude. I'm too young to be giving my opinion on this stuff. But again, they're Reddit stories. You can't be mad. That's my catchphrase. So let's keep it pushing. Her, watch kid, do laundry and grocery shopping and appointments. Me, dinner, everyday cleaning, wiping down counter, picking up toys, sweeping, etc., trash, meal prep, and nighttime routine, bath, etc. Okay, hold on, dude. Again, I will admit, obviously watching a kid, it's a pain, okay? I've watched kids, I've worked with kids. I know it's kind of a pain, okay? I get it. Granted, by the way, just to clarify, I haven't worked with kids like a boatload. I worked a day at some like private school one day, and then I worked with like rec sports. But anyways, there's more random background lore. But come on, he's working a full-time job, and you're making him make dinner, wipe down the counters, picking up the toys, sweeping, and all that crap, right? All the daily stuff that normally when you're a stay-at-home mom, that is what you take care of, because you take care of the kids, you take care of the house, okay? Like, it's pretty simple because you have a lot of time during the day, man. Like days are long. And I'm sorry, but watching a kid does not take 16 hours of energy. There's just no way. So far, I hate to pick sides. I'm on this guy's side, but I think that may change by the end of this because the tag is kind of a spoiler that I'm not going to read. But anyways, in the summer, my company informed me that I would be let go around Thanksgiving. We talked it over and my wife found a job and would be the main breadwinner for the time being. Uh-oh. Okay, this is going to get crazy because it is going to be total roles reversed. And I'm assuming this guy, he's not going to change anything. Like he's going to make her do all the stuff he did. And then he's just going to take care of the kid. Let's see. At the moment, I am watching our daughter and just doing my master's program. I personally have no issue with how things are going, but my wife does. She hates having to come home and do chores and clean up after us. And actually, I leave it cleaner than what she left me because I put the dishes in the dishwasher throughout the day. I'm going to interject here. Look, this is already not like we should maybe have a sit down and be like, look, we're a team. We should be, trying to make each other's lives easier in general, because this is coming off very like, I guess, spiteful. I mean, I know he said he's making it cleaner by putting dishes away, but if you know how much it sucks, I feel like you would maybe, put the effort in to help her out with that. Obviously, I think he's kind of doing it to prove a point, which is also kind of weird to do to your partner, unless if it's like a week-long thing to be like, see, I told you this sucked. Like, now you know how much it sucks, and like, you should appreciate me more. Something like that. That's fair. But to leave it forever like this is just not healthy, and it's just going to lead to resentment growing from both parties, and it's just not going to be good for the relationship or the kid or anything. Again, with the way I talk about these things, you'd think I am a licensed therapist, but I am not. I am a random guy on the internet, so do not take any of this too serious, please. We have been arguing about this constantly. She thinks it's unfair she has to do the chores after working all day, ironic, and me pointing out that this is literally what I have done for the past 2 years and keep pointing at the chore chart. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. She says she is the breadwinner now and I shouldn't have to do this. And I pointed out that I was the breadwinner before to begin with and did this all. Not to mention that I'm watching our daughter on top of doing a program. Yeah, he's kind of got a point here that he is. And I'm not trying to take the guy's side more because I don't think he's in the right, but he's got a point. He's now watching the daughter while doing a master's program while she was just watching the daughter. So she can't win this argument because he did this not only for 2 years, what she's complaining about, but now he's doing what she did, not having a problem with it, and then also doing a master's program on top of it. So she's kind of cooked. She's got no chance at this argument. Not that this should be a thing anyways, but I'm just saying. She claims I am being unfair since I refuse to change the chore chart because it is literally what I have done for 2 years. My friends have opinions on this, so I need an outsider opinion. Look, here's the deal. You both suck in this situation, okay? I'm not gonna lie, not to be blunt, but you both suck. Because this is not how a partnership is supposed to run. I mean, I know everyone's relationships, operate different or whatever, but guys, come on, you gotta work together. They both come out very selfish, which sucks. I don't really have much else to say. I feel like I've spoken a lot during this story, so I'm just going to go straight down to the top comments. Starting off with the first one with 14,000 upvotes here. It's obviously time to rethink the chore chart and have an actual and honest conversation about responsibilities around your home. Yes, you are now the stay-at-home parent, but caring for a toddler is different than caring for an infant when also postpartum. Okay, good point. See, this is a perspective that I cannot relate to. The whole idea of postpartum, I don't even understand that still, so I'm not even gonna really talk about that. Also, they make a point about the age difference, which could be different, but there's also a response right under this one saying that the guy actually may have it harder now considering the age. Again, never had a kid, not gonna comment on that part either. I don't know. I'm just gonna finish reading the top comment here. You are supposed to be a team, so come up with the best plan for all of you. This just feels like you resent what you needed to do to take care of your family when the baby was born, and not about being fair or doing the same thing. How many hours does she work now? How many did you work? I'm gonna stop this right here first of all. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many hours you work. You got to figure out what works for both of you. Now, obviously, if she's working 20 hours complaining about coming home doing dishes, I would say, you know what? Okay, settle down, right? People do a lot more, but regardless, if you can make it better for the tandem, then you should make it better for the tandem because you are a team. And you have a little mini you that you both created that you're taking care of. So you should really want to work together as smoothly as possible. So I do not get this. Obviously, life's never that simple. But anyways, the rest of this top comment reads, can you send your child to preschool soon? Could you consider getting some help with housekeeping? There are solutions to what needs to get done, so find those and do not worry about what everyone was doing before. Yeah, that's very true, man. Just figure out what works. This is such a silly story. Oh God, it's making me cough. It's so stupid. Moving on to the second top comment with 7,000 upvotes. 2 grown adults can't deal with household chores without lengthy negotiations and a written agreement? ? I felt like I needed to add that because I did not read that as a question. You are both fighting to make the smallest contribution to running the household. You have bigger problems than who does the vacuuming. Everyone sucks here. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. I don't know. The dude's being super petty. I get, again, I would genuinely support, let her do it for a week. Because I'm assuming she didn't instantly complain. So it's not even, super mean, but, let her do it for a week. If you're really, that peeved about it, I get it, we're human, and you want her to know what it was like and, the hard work you put in, right? People like to be recognized. A week, that's fair, whatever. But after that, we need to come together, be the bigger person, because obviously, yeah, she sucked. Doing that for 2 years must have been really hard, and she must have had so much free time. I do not care. I know I said, I've never had an infant. There's 16 hours in a day. Now, obviously, if she's dealing with health issues or mental health stuff, I don't know, and that's context we don't have, so I'm just gonna make this claim without that context. She had plenty of time, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. Both the a-hole here. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, story number 4. Okay, so I picked something maybe a little bit more lighthearted. It's probably gonna be a goofy one, and let's just get into it. Am I the a-hole for asking my friend to pay me back for the wine he drank while house sitting? So I, 26 female, had my friend, 27 male, watch my place and my cat for the weekend. I told him he could help himself to whatever in the kitchen, which I thought was just common sense for snacks and stuff. I get back and realized he opened this $120 bottle of vintage Barolo. I don't drink wine, I'm sorry, I probably butchered that I was saving for my promotion. He literally drank the whole thing alone while watching Netflix. Okay, hold on now, he's probably sitting with your cat, okay? Don't judge a man for enjoying a glass of wine. When I asked him about it, he got all weird and said I gave him permission because the wine was in the kitchen. I mean, he's not wrong. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, he's not wrong here. OP says okay, but who drinks a $100 bottle of wine without asking first? Spoiler alert, I'm gonna assume he probably didn't know it was $100. Because normally if you have a nice bottle of wine, it's normally in a spot where it's obvious, okay? And if this was just left out on the counter, I'm sorry, but this is already, you're the a-hole. Making myself laugh, this is so ridiculous. Okay, I sent him a Venmo for $80, gave him a discount, and now he's calling me tacky and told our friend group that I'm a bad host. I feel like there's literally an unwritten rule of guest logic where you don't touch the most expensive thing in the house. Okay, I'm gonna say something crazy here, but I'm gonna assume, and this is just me being nitpicky because this person, this type of person just bugs me. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. All I'm saying is I think they actually followed this rule because I'm just assuming that a $120 bottle of wine was not the most expensive thing in the house. So am I nitpicking your argument? Yes. Oh, yes, I am. Just because you bugged me, but I'm just saying we technically did it. So there's another reason not to be mad. OP finishes out the post by saying, if I tell you to help yourself to my garage, it doesn't mean you can just drive off in my car, ? I don't know. Am I the a-hole here? He's making me feel like I'm being extra, but I feel like he totally took advantage of me. I don't know. It's also just $120. Okay. So the ending of this post should have really answered the question for her. Okay. Like you're saying it's just $120, meaning you probably make enough money to go buy another one. And again, it's just $120. Not saying it's not a lot of money. Like that is a significant amount of money, but it's also not like the end of the world. Like, yes, you don't have a bottle of wine. You're going to have to toast with some crappy cheap wine now that you have laying around. Oh no, like is your life going to be so much worse because you cheers with a different bottle of wine? Probably not, because you're going to start drinking that wine and you're going to be all hype about the promotion. And then once that wine starts hitting, you're really going to be starting to get hype. So like, what are you worried about, man? Like, again, I get it. I'm not trying to say like I wouldn't be annoyed. Like if my buddy did that and like I'd be a little annoyed, but then I'd also be an adult and say like, well, I didn't tell him not to, so I can't be that mad. Also, one last thing before we move on to the top comments. If you're not a wine drinker like myself, I would see that name, and I'm assuming that's just like a well-known brand or whatever. I would see that and say, oh, well, that's wine, whatever. Like, and to be fair, I will say if I was in someone else's house, I don't know. Alcohol is like one of those things, like, unless you make it explicitly clear that like, oh yeah, have some beers, man, or whatever. Like, then I'll drink some if I want some. But alcohol is like one of those things I just don't touch unless I get exclusive permission, you know? But again, in this guy's defense, she said have whatever. So I still think he's in the clear here. The top comment though, with 33,000 upvotes. Wow, that is a lot for a comment. Says, you are the a-hole. Expensive and cheap bottles of wine look the same to people who don't know wine. Case in point would be myself here. Be more precise in your instructions for the person doing you a favor. That is actually a good question. I'm curious if he was just watching for free or if she was paying him or what, because that would also change a lot. Because if he was doing this for free, then she really should not say a single thing, dude. Like, again, I get it. Like, if you agree to do it for free, it's not an expectation to get paid or compensated or whatever, but he's doing you a favor. Oh, I just don't get it. Finishing off this comment, he said, he assumed that you only have cheap bottles of wine because you cavalierly said to help himself. This is tacky. Oof, I know that tacky sentence at the very end there pissed this person off. That one hit deep because I think I just get the vibe that the word tacky is just really hitting her hard. And I gotta read the response to the comment under this because it's pretty funny. With 11,000 upvotes to her response to the top comment, which is an absurd amount to me still, this person said, Buddy probably thought he was doing a solid by chilling with a cat all evening instead of just feeding and watering and leaving. And then this, who are these people who expect everyone to know what wine is worth? Yeah, honestly true. Like he is kind of a homie, unless again, that could be part of the agreement. Maybe he spent the night. I don't know. But regardless, most people, when they animals sit, it is just like a drive by, like, okay, I'm going to feed, water, you know, I'll hang out for 5 minutes, whatever. And then I'm on my way because I got stuff to do. This guy, I agree with this commenter saying that he's just kind of being a homie. Like he's just chilling there with the cat. Yeah, he threw some Netflix on and yeah, he drank some of your wine. And you know, I'll say it. I hope he enjoyed that wine. Because it's just too funny. I gotta move on. This story, it's so ridiculous. The second top comment with 16,000 upvotes says, you told him to help himself to whatever. He did. Most people can't distinguish between a $15 and $120 bottle of wine, and most people aren't going to read a receipt you left lying around either. You are the a-hole. This one is on you. Also, another good one. I read the one below this. The guy said that the dude house sitting, if he saw the bottle of wine out on the counter, he probably just assumed that the poster left it for him as like a, hey, thanks for watching it, especially if the plan was to not pay him. And again, I'm not saying you have to pay your buddies for house sitting, but I'm just saying it's, you know, pretty common. Or like giving a bottle of wine to enjoy, you know, like, oh, this person, she must have just got dunked on in every single comment. I'm actually going to look really quick. Are there any not the a-holes? Okay, so I just checked and I got hyped for a second because I used Control F to just type in NTA and it said there was 5 results, which if you don't know, that's just, you can like search up text in like Google. So I was like, oh my God, like some people are on her side. How surprising. But it's just spelling of different words, dude. Nobody is rocking with this. It's like, it's so obvious. I guess I'm not that surprised, but I thought maybe someone would take her side. Wait. I did find someone taking her side. And look, they kind of have a point, okay? I'm going to leave this post. I don't know why I got sucked into this post so much, but I totally did. And essentially what they're saying, it's quite a big paragraph, but they're essentially saying when someone says help yourself to the kitchen, that never includes any sort of alcohol within the kitchen, especially something that's unopened. They also said the people saying it's only out of line if they know it's expensive are splitting hairs. No, it's not. It's just flatly out of line. I kind of agree with this. Like, I think it's the courteous thing to be like, even if I was opening like a new thing of soda, like if it was like a 2 liter, if it hasn't been opened yet, I would even ask about that just because, like, I don't know, it's not open yet, so I don't want to overstep. So honestly, with all this being said, I'm kind of moving more towards they both calling someone a-holes. It's kind of overstepping here because it's, again, a bottle of wine. Okay, like, it's not the end of the world, but I think they both kind of messed up. I think just moving forward, yeah, be more clear when you're, leaving the house. And now it's just kind of a funny story. Like, I just don't get why people get so worked up over such small things. Cause, like, again, I get being kind of annoyed for a second, but to write out a whole post on Reddit is crazy. I'm not calling her crazy, but like the fact that it's bothering you that much is just, man, I don't know. Maybe I'm just lucky and I don't get that mad over stuff. Maybe it's like biological. I don't know. Anyways, moving on to story number 5. Story number 5, am I the a-hole for telling my sister to stop mommy jacking every conversation and let me talk about myself? Oh boy, this is a common problem. This is a common problem with people. This is going to be interesting. My sister has 2 kids, 4 and 1. Ever since she got pregnant about 5 years ago, she pivots every conversation to pregnancy, breastfeeding, her kids, etc. We have a family group chat and it happens anytime I try to text about something, no matter how important. When people are responding to me, she brings up something about being a mother and everyone drops what I was saying and moves on to her. Uh-oh. That's been annoying me for a while. This has happened for pretty much any conversation that happens. It only doesn't happen if she's asleep or not on her phone, so that's not often. She did it after I got engaged, when I was talking about my new job, when I'm talking about my health, when I bought a house, etc. Okay, this is crazy. If it's actually true, like if you actually have to make everything relate back to, oh yeah, by the way, my kids, I know you just got engaged, should be your life partner. It's kind of a big deal, but little Johnny here at T-ball today, he hit a double. Like, just let's focus on Johnny for a second. Oh God. Yeah. This is a common problem. I think this is a big problem too with, when a mom first has a baby, right? Because everyone just asks about the baby and not the mom. So if that ever happens, always ask about the mom. Ask how she's doing, not the baby, just to mix it up. Okay. Cause they'll probably appreciate it more than you realize, at least from what I hear. Moving on though, at the start of this week, I found out intense restructuring is happening at the company I work at and my job situation is up in the air. I've obviously been very stressed about it and wanted to vent/get advice from family members who have been in the workforce longer than I have. After no messages all day, I text the group chat. I sent a couple messages back and forth with a couple people. Then my sister sent a picture of her baby talking about how he wants some milk. Conversations then turns to be about the baby, and I just got really upset because it happened once again, especially because I could tell by the lighting in the picture that it was taken hours earlier. Oh no, she's just an attention freak. No, I mean, I guess you probably could have guessed that based off the context. I privately texted her asking, for once, can a conversation be about me without you mommy jacking it? She told me I need to grow up and that not everything is about me. Oh boy, this is crazy by the sounds of it, because that's exactly what she does. She apparently then called her mom to tell her about it, and my mom told me I was an a-hole to send that text and that I need to lighten up. I'm assuming the word got around because now no one will respond to anything I say in the group chat. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister to stop mommy jacking every conversation and let me talk about my life? No. I just outright no. Okay, this sucks too. The fact that her family's like, kind of sounds like they're kind of siding with her and they're going to pile onto her because look, kids are OP, especially if it's the first kids of the family. Like, obviously, especially the mom, since now she's grandma, is going to treat that kid like literal royalty. Okay, that's just how it goes. So she's obviously super biased. So that sucks. But what's crazy to me, and maybe I'm lucky to, have a family where I think we wouldn't just blindly, follow what one person says, if there's any family drama. But like, it just sucks that they all instantly took the sister's word without even asking OP. Obviously, family gets tricky because there's so much context and so many skeletons in everyone's family that like it just makes things weird. I don't know, like everything can be amplified. So this sucks. posts like this do kind of suck. But the most annoying and aggravating thing about this whole post is the fact that the sister flipped it onto the poster saying, oh my God, like, it's not all about you. It's like, what are you doing? Like, just enjoy my kid, essentially, right? Even though that's exactly what, the sister does. Like, I just feel bad. Like, it sucks. Like, kids are great. Kids are cool and exciting, but especially if she's stressed out about her job security, like, this is life altering potentially. And the sister just interjects with, oh, my kid's hungry. Like, what? Oh God, I don't know. It's also, I mean, it's partially on the family too, by the way. It's not just on the sister, because the family, like, if that happened, for instance, in the family group chat we have, it would go like this. So it'd be like, the poster would send the text about, oh my God, I'm worried about my job, and we'd respond to her. And then let's say the sister comes in, posts the picture about the baby to change the subject. I think there would be initial reactions to the picture, but then the conversation would float back into the more pressing matter, which would be the potential job loss. Like, I just feel like that is so common sense. I don't know. That's crazy to me. And I know I'm lucky with my family, and I'm not trying to like gas my family up, because I don't know. I know I'm lucky, and I'm very grateful, but it just sucks. This is when, like, if Reddit is actually helpful, just to like prove to this lady, or that like, you are not crazy for thinking your family is crazy in this moment, because they seem ridiculous. So that sucks. The top comment with 16,000 upvotes says, I think mommy jacking is my new favorite word to describe narcissistic new mothers, not the a-hole. Yeah, I mean, she seems like a narcissist. Let's just call it what it is, man. And she's probably, here's the sad thing. And this is, again, I always jump to conclusions here. And again, I don't have all the context, and I'm making very bold assumptions that I probably shouldn't. But someone who does this just comes off lonely to me. Like, she needs the attention. And maybe she's lonely with the kids. Like, obviously, I'm sure she loves her kids, but maybe she's lonely because, like, she doesn't hang out with friends or something. I don't know. Just sucks seeing stuff like this. But again, one of the few instances where Reddit is actually doing good here for this person's mental health. Who thought that would be said in this video? Not me. The second top comment says, not the a-hole, but I would just find your support individuals and not the group as a whole. If you have a favorite aunt or cousin who's been through something similar, talk to someone like that, or a conversation to your mom one-on-one. Yeah, honestly, I think that's probably the best solution for this person, is just stop texting in the family group chat, because I mean, there's no point. Like, if it's just going to keep getting hijacked and you're just going to get pissed off, just don't respond. Or I guess put it in there, which sucks, because obviously you look to your family for support. But again, like this comment said, I would just find it individually. And honestly, you'd probably get better support anyways in an individual text than from like a group text. I would think like you'll get more, I don't know, like a deeper conversation, because like having a deep conversation in a group chat is so hard, because if people aren't all texting at the same time, you're like responding to different parts or questions, responses, whatever you want to say at different times. So it just becomes a disaster. So yeah, individual texting, probably the move. Is she the a-hole? No, that just sucks. Your sister's annoying. And hopefully one day she grows out of it. And if not, then that's just one of those things you're going to have to try and look past, unfortunately. Story number 6. And I'm hyped for this one because Costco is in the title and I love me some Costco. Am I the a-hole for calling out a line cutter at Costco? Please ignore the voice crack there. I think it just happened and I don't want to talk about it. I was at Costco and had just finished checking out when I realized I'd picked up the wrong item. I headed over to the supervisor's desk and waited behind a gentleman who was already there. A couple minutes later, a woman nudged in front of my cart, giving me an unapologetic wave. I'll be quick, I just have a question, she said. I didn't hold back. I don't give a poop. Wait in line, I told her. She looked at me like I was an alien and told me I was being incredibly rude. I followed up with, fine, pretty effing please then. I also have a question. What makes yours more important than mine? Kind of a valid point, but not how I would have phrased that. When I went home and told my wife, she said I overreacted, and in retrospect, I shouldn't have cursed, but I don't regret calling her out. Well, this was a short one. I was hoping since it was Costco, it would be a little more fun because, again, I love me some Costco. I hate how they do the new lines, though, okay? If you know, you know. Look, there's not much to say. Yeah, dude, you overreacted. Does it suck having her cut in line? Sure. Would I have said something? Probably not, because it's just, I don't know. I don't care that much, okay? Like, it is what it is. I get some people get pissed, whatever. If you want to say something, yeah, I would say don't cuss, because that instantly escalates no matter the conversation. It like always escalates if you start cussing. So yeah, just say, look, ma'am, I was here first. Get behind me, pretty much. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to tell an adult how to handle a confrontation, but Yeah, pretty easy. You overreacted. She sucked for cutting. You both kind of suck here. Not really a big deal. Go get a hot dog and a drink and your day will be better. The top comment says, everyone sucks here. Yes, she was incredibly rude cutting, but your wife is right. You way overreacted. Swearing at a total stranger does nothing to support your case. You could have easily said the end of the line is back there instead. And the second top comment with 2,000 upvotes says, well, you could have done it without swearing, but not the a-hole. People do this because other people let it slide. Okay, well, I guess I'm part of the problem because I probably would. So shame on me, actually. Maybe I should call him out. I don't let that crap slide either, says this commenter. We are taught to wait our turn at a really young age. Somewhere along the line, people get the idea that their time is more valuable than everyone else's, but it is not, and they should be called out for being rude. Yeah, I mean, this person's spitting here, and I will say that is a pet peeve of like thinking your time's more important than anyone else's. It's like, dude, no, it's not. Like, unless it's actually an emergency, just wait your turn. I don't care if you're behind, because at the end of the day, if you're behind, that's probably your fault. So then now you're inconveniencing me because you made mistakes. Now, I will say, if you want to ask if you can cut me because you're in a rush, sure. And you know what? I'll probably say yes, because again, I really don't care. Like it's not that deep. I'll wait another 2 minutes, whatever. But this person's got a good point. And you know what? Next time this happens, not that I've been cut very much in my life, but I will speak up just so this does not happen to other people. Okay. I've learned today. Reddit has taught me something good, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. This story was a bit of a nothing burger. Let's go on to story number 6. Story number 6. A boyfriend thought he was entitled to 100% of the sales price of a part that was thrown in on a purchase I made. Am I the a-hole? Hi there, this happened more than 10 years ago, but I've always wondered who was right. I, female, bought a used motorcycle with my own money, and my boyfriend at the time went with me to check it out. As we were talking to the seller, she mentioned that she had recently upgraded the pipes. My boyfriend asked if she still had the old pipes. She did, so he asked her if she would include the pipes in the purchase. And the seller agreed. So when I paid several $1,000s in cash for the motorcycle, it also came with a spare set of pipes worth a few $100s. My boyfriend took the pipes home and started taking pictures of them to put them for sale on Craigslist. I said that was good thinking on his part to ask for the pipes and that I would be happy to give him a cut of the sale. He said absolutely not. Oh boy. The pipes were his because we wouldn't have them if he hadn't asked for them. I said the pipes were actually mine because we wouldn't have them without paying for the bike. I did, however, believe that he should be compensated for coming up with the idea, so I offered a 50-50 split. It turned into a huge argument and I finally relented and let him have the pipes and 100% of the proceeds from the sale, which was a few $100s. Although I could kind of see his side, I always felt like he bullied me into giving him those pipes. We aren't together anymore, but curious as to which of us were the a-hole. Look, here's the deal. Okay, he's lucky that you're willing to like give him a share. Like, I know it was his idea and that he asked for him or whatever, but he didn't pay a single dollar for it. Like, there's no debate. Like, you bought those. Like, it was his idea, sure, but you bought the bike, which came with the pipes. So like, without buying the bike, like you said yourself in the post, you are not the a-hole. Like, there's no debate. Like, he didn't pay for him, but he's trying to sell him. Like, it's not yours, man. And again, it's a good idea and it was a good call. And would that have happened without him? No, but you still didn't pay for him. So either A, you ask the seller how much more it's going to be with the old pipes included in the price, and then you could pay your girlfriend for the pipes. And then sure, take all the money because now you have paid for those pipes. But without that interaction, you have not paid for the pipes. And again, yeah, I can kind of see, well, oh, it was his idea and, you know, he's doing the work to sell it on Craigslist, but you did not buy them. Like, it doesn't matter because you are choosing to do that. So just be happy with the 50-50 split. Because again, I think that's fair. Look, she paid for him. It was your idea and you're going to turn a profit. So you should get some of the cut. Like, that's fair. Sure. But to want 100% of it, that like is mind blowing to me. Luckily, they're not together anymore, which is good for the poster because I don't know if you're moving like that, man. Like, what we're argue over $100 or something. Oh, a few $100s. Okay, so I mean it's a sizable amount of money, but not worth getting into a big argument over. It's ridiculous. There were some edits to the post, so let's read those off real quick. 1, it's not that I didn't care about the pipes, it just didn't occur to me that she might still have them after putting the new ones on. 2, when he initially asked for them, I thought he was looking out for me and getting them for us to keep as spares. 3, it wasn't until we got home and he started taking pictures of them that I found out he planned to sell them. 4, I'm not still upset about this, nor do I think of it very often. As many of you pointed out, it's ancient history regarding an ex-boyfriend. Just one of those gray areas where I've always wondered who was right. Thanks so much for your feedback and interesting responses. It's been fun. Really, I don't have much else to say. Like, the dude's just flat out wrong. The top comment was deleted, which I find odd. So we'll go to the next top comment, which is 5.8 thousand upvotes, saying, Jesus effing Christ, you paid for the pipes and he stole them from you. I'm glad you dumped his thieving booty. Okay, so I'm going to assume Lumpy Potato 2024, who said that, is on the not the a-hole side. Moving on to the second top comment with 4,500 upvotes, not the a-hole. You wouldn't have the pipes to sell without his negotiating. He wouldn't have had the pipes to sell without your purchase of the motorcycle. A 50-50 split recognizes that you wouldn't have had the additional cash without each other's contribution. Wow, what a way to put that. Well put. Impossible Rain 4727 cooked there. Because that's right. Yeah, you both contributed because one person's buying the part, the other person had the great idea. Because yeah, that's a great idea, but now you ruined your great idea because you were an a-hole. Like, dude, what are you doing? That's going to do it for this one. And now let's move on to story number 7. Okay, so I was just editing the audio and there's something I have to include in regards to this last story we just read. This guy comes off just like the biggest scrub in the world trying to fight for the extra money from the sale, dude. Like I'm sitting here like, what is wrong with you, dude? You come off like such a scrub for a couple $100. Like if you're splitting it 50-50, the post said it sold, profit-wise for a few $100. Let's say if they're going by, the definition of a few, which would be 3, that'd be $300. So now you are what seems like throwing a tantrum over $150 when you're a grown man. Not a good look, man. Anyways, let's actually move on to story number 7 now. I just had to include that real quick. Also, and just to clarify too, I'm not saying $150 is not like a lot of money, but like if fighting your significant other for that money is just insane. Story number 7. Am I the a-hole for not giving my sister money I've been saving, even though she already told our parents I would? Oh boy, more family drama. This could get interesting. I'm 24 female and still living at home. I've been saving money for a few years now so I can eventually move out. I don't make a lot, so it's been slow and I've had to say no to a lot of things to build it up. My family knows I'm careful with money. My sister is 29 and has been having money problems for a while. She quit her job last year and has been picking up random work here and there, but nothing consistent. A few days ago, she came to me saying she needed help paying some bills. I told her I didn't really have any money to spare. She then said she already told our parents that I'd help her. I was honestly caught off guard. When I said no again, she got upset and said I'm the only one with savings and that I can always, quote, save again later. Now my parents keep bringing it up. They aren't forcing me, but they keep saying things like I'm young, my sister is stressed, and family should support each other. The house has been awkward since then, and my sister barely talks to me. I feel bad because she's struggling, but I also feel like she assumed she was entitled to my money and didn't respect the effort it took me to save it. Am I the a-hole for saying no? Oh, okay, I went through that one without any commentary because it's pretty short. And let me just start off by saying, no, you're not the a-hole. So here's what's weird, right, about family members, especially with money, is like, obviously, if you care about your family and you have a good relationship with them, you're always going to want to help them. But money is where it gets weird because you can't just financially bail people out anytime they need it, because that creates the habit of, oh, well, I don't really care about my money because I know my younger sister will bail me out. And by the way, that's got to be very humbling for this 29-year-old to go to your 24-year-old and ask to pay your bills. Like, that's got to be a wake-up call. Not like trying to be too mean to the 29-year-old here, but like, wake up, take care of your money, okay? Like, let's be responsible adults here. You've been 29, and I don't want to hear the stupid excuse of, well, no one's ever taught me, how money works or like how to properly save or invest. Or that excuse doesn't work anymore. Okay, I'm sorry. Because first of all, no one teaches you that, right? Now, high school doesn't, no one in school teaches you how to properly save money. Is that messed up? Probably, but it's the truth that we all live with, and it is what it is. But guess what? It's 2026. There's this thing called ChatGPT that will literally answer any question you have. And I know some people are going to say, oh, it's not always right. You shouldn't blindly listen, but it will at least point you in the right direction. And for general financial advice, I can almost guarantee you, because ChatGPT is just regurgitating information from across the internet, that the info you get from it is going to be at least somewhat right. So there's no excuse. And that's a random little tangent, because that is an excuse I cannot stand from people. I cannot stand, actually, in general, when people will not look up the questions they have and they'll instead just ignore them and then complain about the issues that arise out of not asking those questions. But regardless, no, this person's not the a-hole. Yes, it sucks because things are awkward. I will say too, it's really weird that the parents are telling her to help the sister out when normally you would look to your parents first to help out with bills. Again, not that it's their responsibility either, but it's weird that a parent would tell their younger kid to help out the older kid. That's kind of weird to me. I don't know. Like, the parents should be stepping up there, you would think, and maybe they can't financially, but that's just weird. I don't know. Money's a weird dynamic too to comment on, so it's kind of hard to say. But this person's not in the wrong. It's really, again, should just be a wake-up call to the older sister, like, hey, I need to get my stuff together because I'm not always going to get bailed out. So I don't know. Hopefully they'll learn. Top comment with 8,500 upvotes says, not the a-hole, peak entitlement from your sister. Hold your ground. If you say yes now, they're going to see you as a cash cow forever. It's kind of what I was saying about the whole like getting bailed out thing. Like, it's just not a good precedent, to set. Like a one-time thing for an emergency, that's completely different. But bills that you know come monthly, like that means you are just irresponsibly spending your money. Right? It's one thing if it's like an emergency medical bill or like you get in a car accident, you need help with like down payment on a car. I don't know. Like, that's different. One-off things are different. But if it's bills, monthly bills, like that is on you because you knew how much those were, or you at least signed up. So you should know, right? You probably don't, because most people don't, because that's what happens when every single entertainment thing is under a subscription. Dude, I can't stand it, bro. I hate it. I got like 8 different subscriptions to watch a few different shows. It's ridiculous. That's a whole different story, man. I'm sorry. That's not what you come here. You don't come here to hear me rant, but I really can't help it sometimes. The second top comment says, sounds like you need your savings even more so you can move away from these arseholes. Thank you, by the way. I don't have to censor that. I can just read the word out. And if your parents care so much, they can stump up for your feckless sister. Okay. I don't know if they meant feckless or meant to say reckless. Regardless, person's totally right. I agree. I don't know. I feel like these top 2 comments were very validating. Once again, like I talked about in the last video, because they kind of were saying what I was saying. And another thing too, by the way, I will say that it makes it even worse with the fact that she quit her job and then has been picking up random work, but not like having a full-time job, because 99 times out of 100, a person can go get a job at a McDonald's. You can go get a job at a Taco Bell. Like, it, sure, you got to swallow your pride if you're, 29, because that's not normally the career path people want to take, but it's just, sometimes you got to do that in life. So like the fact that she doesn't have like a consistent job and is still asking for money makes this even worse to me. Oh boy, that was a mouthful. I've been ranting a lot this video, but let's keep it going. I really want this one to be over an hour because people keep saying to make them longer, so I'm really trying my best. I think this is going to be the last one. And what sucks is I think we're going to be just under an hour after I make all the cuts, but that's fine. This is story number 8, I think. I've lost count. I'm doing this all in one sitting. I think I lost count, but story number 8. Am I the a-hole for not allowing my ex to see sonogram photos of his child? I, 32 female, dated my ex, 33 male, for 2 years. During that time, our relationship was very difficult. One weekend, he was mad at me because he thought that a man was trying to flirt with me when we were at the store. So he refused to speak to me the entire weekend. Oh boy. I think I can see where this one's going. This is a man-child. That's not good. Okay, we did not live together full time. That Saturday, I found out I was expecting but also losing said expectation. Oh, geez. Okay, at the same time, I did not think that's where that was going. I tried to call him from the hospital and he ignored my call, so my best friend called him and he did answer for her. Oh, bad luck. She told him what was going on. She lives out of state. He didn't reach out to me or come to the hospital. Wow. This guy sucks. He's not only a man-child, he's just a POS. That is, oh boy. I did not hear from him until the following Tuesday. So for reference, again, this happened on Saturday. Didn't hear from him from Tuesday. So what is that, 3 or 4 days? That is bad. Not trying to laugh at the situation because this is sad, but this guy sucks is all I'm trying to say here. Needless to say, I never got over that, and we broke up shortly thereafter. Yep, good choice. He never apologized and said the problem took care of itself. Whoa. Oh my God. This dude, he's awful. Now, a year later, he reached out and wants to see the sonogram photos and talk about what happened at the hospital. I declined and told him that due to his actions that weekend, he did not deserve any further information or to see the photos. He flipped out and called me every name in the book, so I must ask y'all, am I the a-hole? No, no, not even, no question. Like, oh, dude, I don't even know. I can't imagine. I really can't. This guy just is, you suck, dude. You don't deserve a single thing. You don't even deserve to be able to text her at this point. She should have blocked him. First of all, after that, like, you clearly don't care about so many different things. Because not only do you not care about me, because now I am, you know, presumably distraught in a hospital because I just learned that A, I was expecting a child, but B, now that this child is not gonna make it, you know, this is a roller coaster of just terrible emotions probably. And you ignore my call. And the fact that my friend could get a hold of you, but I can't, would piss me off even more, especially given the situation. And then the fact that she filled you in, my friend did. Okay, I'm talking as OP here. The fact that she filled you in, you still don't care enough to even call when you should be in the hospital with me at this time. But of course, he doesn't come to the hospital. And then you don't reach out till the next Tuesday. You wait, was that again, 3 or 4 days, you know, depending on what time of day or whatever. But you're going to wait 3 or 4 days after that happens. It's just like gross as a human being. Like, I just think this guy is gross. And this is all before considering the fact that he had the audacity to come back a year later asking for sonogram photos and wanting to talk about what happened. And look, here's the deal. Maybe he was a POS and then, like, you know, people can change in a year. I'm not saying that, but at this point, dude, that bridge is burned. It's too late. If I'm OP, you didn't care enough about me or the kid at the time when it first happened to even give me a phone call or a text or something. But now you feel entitled to the photos of the kid. No, not a chance. You didn't care then. Why do you care now? It's too late. Bridge is burned. Case closed. This person's not an a-hole. Literally, I'm sitting here trying to like figure out what to say even more. And I'm just sitting here saying, ugh, like this guy just sucks. Like he just sucks. And it's such a sad situation. But moving on to the top comments. By Lighthouse on Mars here. I always wonder how people get names like this because it's so random. I'm assuming it's like a reference to a book maybe, but they say, not the a-hole. He is just using this as an excuse to get back in your life. Ignore him and block him. You don't owe him anything. This had 10,000 upvotes and I would give it another one personally. That last part was me talking. I had my reading voice on there. I apologize. The second top comment with almost 3,000 upvotes says, not the a-hole. He's right about one thing. The problem did solve itself. Through his cruel and selfish actions, you will never have to deal with him again. He's the problem, not your lost child. I wish you every happiness for the future, and I'm so sorry for your loss. Don't share that picture with him. He can go and boil his head. That was incredibly well said. I mean, really. And I love the last sentence. That is such a fun way to like tell someone to F off. Go boil your head. That is savage. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to say on my end. Like they put it perfectly. Like the problem here, like did solve itself. This guy sucks and you don't have to deal with him. And if you were ever to get married, you just saved yourself a divorce. So I guess that's good. But on that note, the happiest note of all, you know, what a happy story to end on. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you are asleep if you're trying to sleep. And once again, if you're up at 3 a.m. when you're supposed to be asleep right now, go to bed. If you want to help me out, and you want to hit that like button, subscribe if you're on mobile and want to hype it. Apparently that's a really good way to help boost this in the algorithm. I would super appreciate it. And if for whatever reason you want to give me some of your hard-earned cheddar, I did start a membership program. If you want to join that, it's really just to support me. It's not necessary at all. But if you so choose, I would appreciate it. And if not, I'm just glad you made it this far. Anyways, though, have a good day, have a good night, or have a good time finishing whatever you're doing. And one last thing too, whatever you're procrastinating for like the last week or whatever, just go do it. As a serial procrastinator, it's probably not going to take that long. Just go do it. You'll feel way better. Anyways, peace out, and I will see you in the next one.